Hello, this is Marjory Wildcraft with the Grow Network, and I am so happy to be, I know you're going to be thinking, why is she happy to be in Buell, Idaho? like, have you ever heard of Buell, Idaho? But I'm here with Dr. Patrick Jones, and my daughter and I are getting to spend a couple of nights at his home and hang out with him at his clinic. He's a veterinarian, a naturopath, and an herbalist, and treats man and beast. And an extraordinary veterinarian. He's a holistic veterinarian, and he uses a lot of herbs in his practice, a good mixture of everything though. And I wanted to talk to you about herbs. So, you know, we have the 8 preparations that the Grow Network has defined for people who want to become home medicine makers. You get fresh and teas and infusions and tinctures and salves and all the different ways that you can use these herbs. I was going to ask you, what's your favorite method for what's your favorite preparation?
For taking herbs.
Yeah, for taking herbs.
Well, I'll tell you what I usually do is
and which one do you think is the most effective?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great question, and the answer is, as it often is, it depends, right?
Oh, one of those answers.
One of those answers.
This means there's going to be more to come.
Buckle up, yeah.
Buckle up.
You know, honestly, it doesn't matter very much how we get the herbs into our body. Mm-hmm. You know, just like it doesn't matter. I mean, you could have come here in an airplane to Buell, Idaho, or in a car, a helicopter, or ridden on a camel, or whatever. But you got here, and you're here, and now we're doing our thing.
Yeah.
You know, and the same with the herbs. If we can get them into our bodies, they'll do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes there are advantages to a tincture. You know, a tincture absorbs very quickly, so they're great for crisis herbs like cayenne for shock, or yarrow for bleeding, or lobelia for asthma. It's no fun to make up a cup of tea when you're having an asthma attack.
Right.
You want something right now.
Squirt it in there and go.
Yeah, you want it right now.
Yeah.
And lotions are obviously nicer than rubbing a root on your skin. There's reasons we do these things, but most of the reasons are aesthetic and palatability and things like that.
Deliverability.
Yeah. They're just vehicles. But the plant's the medicine. And never forget. And I always tell my students when we're in class, I don't want to hear any of you people when the apocalypse comes saying, if I just had my dandelion tincture, everything would have been okay, right? Yank them out of the ground and eat them, right? That's the medicine. And when I take herbs...
when the apocalypse comes.
Yeah.
He didn't say yes.
Is that scheduled? Do we have the date on that?
You know what? Hey, wasn't there a guy that scheduled it back in 2000 and something, and it didn't happen?
Y2K.
No. Oh yeah, well there's Y2K. There was that too.
Yeah, we've had several. Yeah. We keep missing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I have no idea what we're talking about, but I guess what I do mostly when I take herbs.
The herb is the
herb's the medicine.
It's the plant that's the medicine.
I go into the herb room. I have a little chat with everybody in there. I take a spoonful of this and a spoonful of that and a spoonful of the other. I throw it in some water down the hatch. I don't make a tea. I don't make a tincture. Not everybody can do that because that's sort of a texture issue for some people, choking that stuff down. But that's how I do it a lot of times. But you can make
be a man and just swallow it.
Caveman herbalism.
Caveman herbalism.
But smoothies are great.
Yeah.
Put in a smoothie, or
hide stuff in there. Chili,
whatever.
The spaghetti sauce.
Yeah,
that's where you hide it.
And you got to be careful because they don't all taste good.
Oh my gosh. I remember one time, I got to tell a story. So I discovered mesquite flower, right?
Uh-huh.
And the mesquite is like the easiest calories to grow in the Southwest, or rather I say the easiest calories to collect, right? And you can grind up the pods and the beans and you make this powder. And it's super nutritious. It's kind of overly sweet, and it also has a lot of protein in it if you get the seeds. And so I started sneaking it into the pancakes for the family, which I actually don't really eat pancakes, but they do. So I started sneaking it in there. And I found at 25% mesquite to wheat, that's when the family was like, Mama, you cannot make pancakes anymore, ever again. No, no, no. And you know what? I was quite glad about that because I don't really eat pancakes. So I was like, leave that duty. And then the liver, I was sneaking liver into the chili, right? And then, there's a certain threshold. You put too much liver in there. And then they're like,
they're on to you.
Mama, you put liver in the chili again, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
But I can sneak in the kelp and the seaweed and the other nutritive stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Get in there, they don't notice it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get kelp into my kids. That would be
you gotta hide it in and put a lot of other garlic on it and kind of cover that up. But yeah. So the plant is the medicine.
The plant
And
is the
So
medicine.
it doesn't matter whether it's in pill form or tinctures or powder or
It doesn't
salves
matter.
or that's the thing.
Not a lick. Eat them up. They're and in fact, the raw whole plant in most cases is the very best source of those phytochemicals. Anything else we do to it, we're doing something to it.
We're degrading it.
We're
to some
altering it.
extent.
We're degrading it. So
Yeah.
if you can use them, in a more organic, close to the dirt way, boy, that's the way to do it.
Awesome. This is Marjory Wildcraft with Dr. Patrick Jones, and we will catch you later.
The Grow Network is a movement of people who are stopping the destruction of the earth via homegrown food. Learn to make your own medicine with plants you find in your yard. Get started at www.makeyourownmedicine.com.